You can spell it if you want. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings from Somerville. Michael Somerville here. And my guest today is...
Fred Bevill. How's it going, buddy?
Fred Bevill. Do you want to spell it? I told him he was going to say his name, and he asked me he should spell it. Are you usually you have to spell it, or people get it wrong?
Oh, people get it wrong all the time. People get it wrong all the time. Bevel, incorrect. Bevil, incorrect. Bevill, correct.
Now, you've also said that you've seen it, people have read it spelled correctly, and then they've still mispronounced it.
Bevill. Bevill. I have one of those names.
When I first put you in my phone, I instead of Fred, I did 2 E's, so it was Free Bevill. It sounded like I was part of a movement.
I think it was cool.
A cause or something.
I might change my name.
Fred, thank you for coming on the show today. Our first Fred.
Hey, all right.
I bet, do you hear that a lot in life?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Not like Fred's an old name. I'm named after my grandfather.
His name was?
His name was Fred.
Okay.
Yeah. I've met more basset hounds named Fred than I have people in my life.
I don't think I really know many Freds. I think I knew one in college. Yeah. So you're proudly wearing the name. Now you're not a Fred the Third, though.
I'm not. I'm an original. Okay. I'm an only child. I'm the only one.
Okay. Well, but how does that work, though? Because your grandfather you were named after your grandfather.
My mom's dad.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, that's how it works.
There
okay. Yeah, there we go. Well, we're happy you're on this show.
Thank you, sir.
And a unique one. We always, on the podcast, we always go for unique, angles on people outside the traditional, like, here's what I do for a living. Here's what's special or different about this person. You were raised in Northern California and moved to North Dakota, where you have now lived for over 19 years?
About 17 years.
About 17 years. Yeah. So let's start from the beginning, from the beautiful, what part of California?
I actually grew up on the California side of Lake Tahoe, South Lake Tahoe.
Lake Tahoe, beautiful.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
Absolutely.
Had skiing in the winter, boating in the summer,
ski boating,
beautiful mountains.
Well, isn't the thing with Tahoe also that you can actually do both in the same day? Like
you could,
yeah, you could
absolutely
go water skiing and snow skiing, and
absolutely,
absolutely.
And then my mom's side of the family is all from the Napa Valley, which is just a few hours down the road.
That's fabulous.
So yeah, I chose Fargo, North Dakota for the scenery. It's beautiful and flat.
So Napa Valley, which is that Monterey and all those places? Is that
a little more east?
Okay,
a little more east.
What are the cities or towns of?
I'm like an hour from San Francisco one way and an hour from Sacramento the other way.
Got you. Okay,
so I'm like right in the middle there.
Napa Valley, known for wine,
absolutely, and auto parts.
Oh my goodness, auto parts?
No, just Napa Auto.
Okay. Oh, Napa Auto Parts. That's a good one. I like that. I was in Hawaii once, and on St. Patrick's Day, and I went. It's hard to find an Irish pub in Hawaii.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I was in Maui, and I got in the cab, and I said, I'd love to go someplace, something, anywhere Irish for, to celebrate. But I figured he knew what I meant. He took me to O'Reilly Auto Parts. And in fairness, it's a big green shamrocky sign, and I don't think he knew what I meant.
Bought some green spark plugs.
But talk to us. Okay, so you're born and raised. Tell us what is it like to grow up in California? Were you an active outdoors kid? Were you an athlete? What was your life?
I was both. It was a small school, so you could wear a lot of hats. There weren't a lot of cliques. So I was a drama geek.
Okay,
but I was also an athlete. I played football and baseball in high school.
And you're talking what? High school now?
High school, yeah. And then in college, I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts.
Did you really?
My college, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We had a horrible football team.
You were, but I bet their huddles were beautifully orchestrated and everything.
Oh man, the halftime show was West Side Story. Quarterback would stand over center, to be or not to be.
So now, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts was in Pasadena.
Okay.
So I had every intention on being an actor.
Okay.
And then I hit open mic nights at the Comedy Store, and then
I started checking out the comedy scene.
I just loved it, man, right from go.
Okay.
And then, like most comics in LA, I was open micing at laundromats and Chinese restaurants.
Right.
And, there was a great place called the Rose Tattoo in West Hollywood, right in the center of Boys Town, West Hollywood.
Okay.
Fabulous bar. And their gig was, they paid you $25, but you had to bring 5 paying customers.
Sure.
So, and it was a $5 cover.
Okay.
So I grabbed my buddies, pay for them to get in, and then I'd get paid $25 after my set. It was a break-even night, and I got 10 minutes.
That's a great, that's a great way to do it, especially because you run through your friends and they're sick of seeing you. So
they were awful. Yeah. They looked forward to the other people that were on stage. Yeah.
So now that you become a comedian and it hits you, takes you on the road to North Dakota.
Yeah, man.
Where you would then meet your now wife.
Yeah.
So you're just traveling for work.
I was just grinding the road like guys do.
Okay.
Working one-nighters and clubs.
And roughly what age, if I can ask, you don't mind?
Oh, man, I was actually just turning 30 because I can mark it by when I met my wife.
Okay.
So I was just turned 30. I was working a comedy club in Kansas City called Sanford and Sons.
Sure, know it.
And my agent at the time calls me and says, "Hey, I need you to fill in for Tommy Chong in Fargo at the comedy club in Fargo."
Okay.
And I said no, because who wants to fill in for a celebrity headliner?
Right.
He calls
for our listeners that everyone thinks they're going to see someone, and then all of a sudden it's some other guy.
Yeah, and they're
nobody.
Like, "What's up with this guy? That's not Chong."
Yeah, it's not the guy we want to see.
So he said, "Look, they've told everybody, they've honored the tickets, and you're gonna have a great audience. You're the only one who's shooting distance. Go." And my now wife was at that Saturday Late Show,
right? And
she hadn't planned on going to the show that night either. She was never been to the comedy club, never seen live comedy.
Right.
She just wanted to see Tommy Chong.
Want to see it,
and they already had the night off work. They had the tickets. They're like, "Well, let's just go see whoever then."
Right.
And she ended up seeing me. And after the show, I was invited to sit down with her friends. And
who invited you?
Someone from her table. She was there with a group of 6 of her friends. That's how we met.
Okay.
And
the friend though would just like, "Hey, he's fun. Let's sit down." Or did the wife say something about you? Or?
No, nothing. It was total friendly vibe.
Right,
it was just like, "Hey, let's buy the comic a drink," kind of a thing.
Right.
Sat down, started shooting the bull with everybody, and we just kind of clicked, and here we are. We just celebrated 15 years of marriage last February.
Congratulations, but I think we skipped a few things. So you're at the club. You just met. You hit it off.
Yes.
She lives in North Dakota.
Yes,
you
sir.
live in California.
Yeah.
What happens next? Do you get a number that night? I don't want to ask for any graphics.
No. This is actually a fun story, too. One of her best friend slips me her number without her knowing it.
I like it.
And she says, "You need to call my friend. She really needs to meet a nice guy."
I like this.
And I was like, okay.
And we're talking days of true telephones, no texting.
Yeah, there's no cell phone.
Yeah,
there's no nothing.
Yeah, you got to call her.
You got to actually call.
Yeah.
You have to pull over to the side of the road, get change for $1, put a quarter in the phone booth, but that night, as we were saying goodbye, I said, "Hey, your friend gave me your phone number. Is that naughty or nice?" And she said, "It's naughty and nice."
Oh.
And I was like, "Hey."
North Dakota.
And then I went to work the Funny Bone in Des Moines the next week.
Okay.
We talked a few times that week over the phone.
Gotcha.
I had the following week off. So instead of going home to California, I drove back to Fargo.
Oh, wow.
Took her out to dinner. And yeah.
And here we are 15 years later.
Here we are.
Again, I'm going to slow you down. So when you're calling her from the road on the phone, you're getting a good vibe. It's
getting a great vibe. Yeah.
It's like, I like this girl.
Yeah. You know how she would just seem different.
Yeah.
She was just different than the other girls you'll meet on the road.
Exactly.
Even though today she affectionately calls me the one-night stand that never went home.
Kept driving back to North.
Kept coming back.
But now again, not to be down on North Dakota at all, and I actually have some family history there as well, which we'll get to. But that is, you got to really like that girl because you're not driving to Chicago, you're not driving to
and the little footnote is, it was February when we met.
Oh my goodness!
So the temperatures are just
plug in the car stuff. Right?
Oh yeah. We're talking 20 below zero. We're just
jeez.
But from then on, whenever I had time off from the road, instead of going back to California, I went to Fargo.
Wow.
To hang out with her, and that's kind of how our relationship.
And she's born and raised there.
Born and raised.
Okay, so true. Does she have the accent?
No, she doesn't. That's actually a big myth.
Really?
It really is. If you go way northern Minnesota, you'll hear that accent. Oh yeah, don't you know? But in Fargo, they talk just like you and I.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, what point then you say it's getting serious? I like this woman. You're thinking of moving forward. Do you start thinking about geography? Do you just are you a guy? It doesn't matter. I love her. It doesn't matter where I live, or because you're from a beautiful part of the country. Not that there's anything wrong with North Dakota, but it's obviously different.
It's not as beautiful.
It's not. Leave it at that. Leave it at that.
That's a polite way of saying there's nothing there.
There's nothing.
But yeah, man. I just figured as a comic, it doesn't really matter where I live. It's.
Well, you're going to be traveling.
I'm always going to be traveling. She was actually still a college student. So I knew if we were going to be doing anything with the future, it was going to be at least a year.
Okay.
Because she was going for her extended degrees.
Okay.
And yeah, man, things just kept clicking.
I
kept my eyes open for the red flags.
Right.
And they never popped up.
They never. They were probably frozen in the ground.
It might have been
for the winter.
They might have been. That first winter there, though, I actually did. We had a serious conversation. I was like, "Look, you're definitely. I like you. You're definitely different." But I don't know if I can handle this.
This whole thing.
This North Dakota
You're
thing.
wearing all your clothes from California. 17 layers of shirts.
And I'm still cold.
And you're freezing. And because it's true stuff, right? Plugging in cars,
That's
true
what they
freezing.
do.
So I'll briefly give you my history. I have my family actually lived in Hazen, North Dakota.
Yeah, I know it.
In the late 60s.
Okay.
My dad's work had transferred him. I worked for an engineering firm, and he's in the middle of nowhere, Hazen. And
how old are you at this time?
I didn't exist.
This before you.
This is late 60s. I wasn't around, but my oldest brother was, and my middle brother was actually born there in North Dakota. But my dad and my mom and dad are both from the Bronx, born and raised in the Bronx. True city kids, they can't sleep without the street noise kind of thing.
And
they get sent to Hazen, North Dakota. And
where it's like bumper to nothing traffic.
There is
nothing.
To that point, they get moved in. My dad, they have to go, overnight kind of thing. We need someone there. They rent the first thing they can find, which is just a trailer in an alfalfa field, a large empty alfalfa field. So they go from the Bronx to that. And my mom's like, where am I? She's getting, the movies. She's convinced someone's going to come in at night, that whole thing. But I had the pleasure years later, I was traveling with my mom. This is back now. The late 90s, I was on the road. I had some time off. She flew out to meet me. She said, I'll come meet you. We'll go do something. Let's go see Yellowstone. Let's go do a fun.
Sure.
And she said, it's not that far. I haven't been back since the late 60s to Hazen, North Dakota. Let's go see. And so we went back. And that particular area, apparently it had now exploded. I think downtown was now 3 blocks long.
Wow.
Instead of the 1 block.
Yeah, you had a stoplight now.
Exactly.
Amazing.
But we went in. I'll never forget it, to this little cafe. And obviously we're talking years later now. This has got to be 2000, 1992. I don't know what year, but years and years, 30 years after my parents had been there, and we walk into this little cafe, and literally everybody stops and just turns and looks at the door at us because it was still that small of a place.
Strangers.
Exactly.
Yep.
People we don't know. And my mom, we sat and ate, and we got to talking to a few people, and finally, sure enough, there was a lady over there who had been there all that time. She said, "Oh, do you remember?" And she was bringing up the names, and didn't remember my mom per se, but knew, mutual friends, and the whole thing. Had been there all her life.
It's amazing.
Isn't it? Yeah.
It's amazing.
Kind of refreshing in a way. Just
you don't see that a lot anymore.
No.
You don't.
No, not at all. But so I'd gotten to go to. I didn't mean to take over, but that was my my experience with North Dakota, and it was very sweet. And now there's Bismarck, and there's that's the capital.
That's
right?
the capital.
Okay, and that's
total opposite side of the state, though.
Is that right?
Yeah, Fargo's the southeastern corner.
Okay.
In fact, we border Moorhead, Minnesota.
Okay.
And we're just separated by the Red River there.
And so now that is why your team, you're wearing, as we speak, a Minnesota Twins
Yep,
top.
I'm exactly 3 hours away from Target Field.
Okay, so that's your football team, your baseball team.
Vikings.
Got you. You're Minnesota
Twins,
fans.
yeah.
Because I guess North Dakota doesn't have any professional teams. They have
No, though, we do have independent baseball.
Do you really?
In Fargo. We have the Fargo Moorhead Red Hawks.
That's fun stuff.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Like, they're not a farm system.
Okay.
But they're independent baseball.
Gotcha.
And it's really high quality ball.
I bet.
You're seeing, maybe guys that had a taste of the major leagues, but didn't quite cut it, but still have some playing years in them.
Absolutely.
Or guys younger that are coming up trying to get
still
to that.
Trying to make it.
It's just really cool.
I mean, it's all kind of minor leagues, and that to me, that's always the most fun.
Oh, it's the best.
I went to school in South Bend, Indiana, and we used to go all the time to see the affiliate there, and just it's approachable. You could sit right by them. Get a hot dog for $1. That's a lot of fun.
It's the best.
And you also knew a lot about North Dakota State sports, the college, which I liked a lot.
Well, it's right there in Fargo. If I were in charge of tourism in Fargo, I would dub it the most surprising city in the world.
I like
because people associate it to the movie, especially when I'm traveling around. Obviously Fargo's part of my show.
The accent, the wood chippers,
all of that, all of that. And but if you were to pan a camera across, Fargo, it looks like a city.
Right.
I mean, we have a place called the Fargo Dome, which Garth Brooks just did 3 shows there.
Okay.
The airport can get me anywhere I want to go in the world.
Perfect.
We have NDSU.
It's an international airport.
It is.
Okay.
We have North Dakota State University
right
across the river in Moorhead. We have Moorhead State. And then there's a private school called Concordia, which is big on languages. In fact, a lot of people that are translators for the government and things like that go to Concordia College.
Okay.
Then an hour north, we have University of North Dakota.
Okay.
Big hockey, Sioux hockey, for all the hockey fans that may listen to this.
Okay.
But Carson Wentz is the new favorite son of North Dakota
for the Eagles.
Yes, sir.
I put you guys on the map, and for some people, I know you're real. Garth Brooks knew you were there, but I never even heard of North Dakota State until Carson Wentz.
A lot of people haven't. Yeah. No, that's nothing to. That's not even a shot against North Dakota. Why would it be? But I mean, a kid from the FCS. The Big Sky League goes number 2 in the draft of the NFL.
Big deal.
And makes an impact right away. I mean,
absolutely.
Carson Wentz comes to town, the place goes crazy.
Now, do you become then a fan of Philadelphia Eagles, sort of, because of that?
Absolutely.
Which is that this, from some, not smaller markets, but certain markets, you see that a lot. Certainly Hawaii, you see it all the time. Anyone who went from Hawaii to play with somewhere, they love that team.
Absolutely.
Go Tennessee Titans.
Well, you pick the team that's close to you, because that's the team you can go see, and, But
and that's the press you see on TV and all the coverage,
all of it. But I have 2 kids, and my oldest son had gone through the NDSU summer football camp, and Carson Wentz was the quarterback, and
fabulous.
He spent great time with the kids. He just got to really know. I mean, he's a really good guy. All this garbage you hear in the news about being aloof, and it's truly garbage. He's a great guy.
It's okay.
And so, I would say just by roots, I probably have more of a connection to the Philadelphia Eagles than I do the Minnesota Vikings now. But.
Well, that brings up an interesting question, because your kids then clearly are fans of the teams up there. That's all they've known. They're born and raised.
Yep.
What do you consider yourself? I mean, obviously from California originally, always. Can't change that. But I mean, are you just simply a North Dakota guy now?
No, I still hang on my California. I mean, all my family's still in California.
Okay.
My mom's side, anyway.
Gotcha.
Grew up a Dodgers fan.
Oh, wow.
Never liked the Giants, even though they were the closest team to me. Hated the San Francisco Giants.
Really? Okay.
With a passion. Still do. And no offense, I know you're a Yankees guy, but the Yankees treat the Minnesota Twins like a baby treats a diaper when it comes to playoff time. We just can't get past you guys.
No, definitely some rep here. And I have to say, as a Yankees fan, it is like I'm always happy and relieved when I see that we're playing you guys in the playoffs. I'm like, cool, all right.
Yeah, good warm-up game.
Yeah, exactly. Really, for a while there was good
practice game before we play the Red Sox.
Exactly. Well, it's funny for me. One of my buddies, same thing, grew up in Boston, and then obviously passionate sports town and our city, and everything is Boston sports. And then his kids are both born and raised in Philadelphia.
Okay,
so that's all they know.
Sure,
including Carson Wentz. And it's really, I can see the struggle in his eyes, just being, I mean, when you're a Boston fan, there's no other team in the world. It's the Boston team. And, his kids got the jerseys and the whole thing. And you can see a little tear down his cheek and goes, so why is he wearing an Eagles jersey?
But at least the Patriots are AFC. The Eagles are NFC.
That's true. And I think it was all fine and well until last year when the Eagles beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. That was that's when it came to a head to a degree.
Yeah. Well,
Now,
that'll never happen again, though. That's the good news.
That's probably
it was a one-off.
That's probably true. So moving forward, then, your wife's family's still up there.
The whole everyone. Lot of them.
Okay, so that's all right. And you continue to travel for work.
Yep.
And your wife and your family now, and everything is rooted there. So is this? Do you think this is for life? Are you a North Dakota guy?
Probably not,
Okay.
to be honest. I think, we don't want to move the kids. They got
Right.
their friends. They got their base.
Right.
But my oldest, Carson, is 13. My youngest, Cameron, is
The
10.
oldest named Carson?
Okay, but to be
come
fair,
on. How did this not come up?
when Carson was born, my son was born in 2005.
Okay, fair enough.
Carson Wentz was
And you named him Frank.
Nothing.
And then you changed his name.
We were actually
he was named Fred after me.
when my wife was pregnant with our first one, Johnny Carson had passed away.
Oh, okay.
And we were, we didn't know the gender of the baby,
Right.
like most people will find out. We
Right.
wanted to be surprised. So we had the list of girls' names and the list of boys' names, and Johnny Carson had passed away. And I thought, you know what, if it wasn't for stand-up, we would have never met.
Right.
And so Carson is as iconic as it gets.
Is this true?
Is this true? Maybe we put him on the list. Well, we couldn't name him Chong.
Right. That'd be a little tougher.
So it ended up, Carson just kind of stuck.
Yeah.
It just kind of stuck.
Well, it meant to be.
But the one thing she was worried about is being, how when you pick baby names, you think, what are they going to get made fun of with this
Right,
name? What is it? What could be picked on about this name? And she was worried about Carson Daly. And I was like, trust me, in 10 years, no one's going to care about Carson Daly.
Right.
That's not a thing.
Right.
So yeah, we just went with Carson.
That's yeah. Well, and then also your last name is not so common. I think sometimes that people worry like your last name. I don't know if you think of an example, but it could be a very generic name, but then all of a sudden somebody in the world does something horrible or does,
right.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Bevill, I guess you never know.
Well, we also thought we were being pretty original. And then we take him to daycare as, when he's a toddler and there's 5 Carsons in his daycare. We're
Carson.
we were not original.
Alabaster and all these. There was definitely a phase there where everyone was just trying to give their kids.
They're going for that new age.
Exactly.
We're going to name him Peace.
Exactly.
He's Oak Tree or whatever.
No wonder there's no more Freds. Where are the Freds of the world?
There's none.
Right?
We're all old. It's a dying name.
Which incredibly makes you original.
I love it. It's the only part about me that's original.
Full circle. Well, Fred, we cannot thank you enough for swinging by. We wish you the best of luck on the road and in North Dakota.
Appreciate it, brother. Thanks for having me.
My goodness, if I get back, I will make sure I swing through.
We got a bed for you.
And maybe that should be the logo or the motto for Fargo.
Fargo, we have a bed for you.
Maybe we don't want to tell everyone that. This has been Greetings from Somerville. Please like, rate, and review us on iTunes. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you soon.